Part 3. Rae Perkins running for U.S. Senator. Let's get into it. Josephine County Republican. So I have Rae Perkins. You're running for U.S. Senator. Is that correct?
Sure.
All right, cool. Well, so what made you decide to do that?
That's a whole God thing.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, go
Do you
ahead.
want the story?
Yeah,
I'll give you
please.
the cliff notes. I had just been elected as vice chair for the Lynn County Republican Central Committee. By the way, it was my first Central Committee meeting ever. And I
Wow,
walked out as vice chair.
that's amazing.
And I was supposed to be nominated for secretary, and I got there and I wasn't on the slate of officers. And I'm just sitting there praying, God, if you don't want me involved with the Republican Party, that's fine. I'm good. And I walk out as vice chair. So went to go to the first meeting in November, but in December, and I didn't see them in the room where they said they were at. I opened up the door and there's people sitting in a circle, and I didn't recognize anybody, but I had to leave. So my son called and I needed to go take care of something that had come up. So anyway, no big deal. So then I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, the first full weekend in January of 2009. And I go to dinner, come back, and I watch a senator getting sworn in. But the U.S. senators, they don't show you the swearing in, the actual one. They do a reenactment with your family members there, and the vice president one-on-one swearing you in. And so I look at the TV and I'm just going, what an incredible honor to be sworn in as a United States senator. And I start tearing up just like this. Happens almost every time. And it's just me in my hotel room, and I audibly hear a whoosh from the ceiling, and it wasn't the heater, it wasn't the air conditioner. And I audibly heard, plan on making a run to go to Washington, D.C., U.S. Congress, 5 to 6 year time frame. And I turned and I went, what? Okay. And that's what started my journey.
Okay, that's
And
awesome.
that was January 8th, 2009.
Okay, so
And that has clearly been over 5 to 6 years.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah, and you're going to be what? You're replacing Jeff
Jeff
Merkley, right?
Merkley.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I ran the first time for U.S. Senate in 2014, which was in that 5 to 6 year time frame.
Okay. Awesome.
And
And
yeah, so and just kept on going.
cool. Well, and I've
So
been
here I
looking at
am.
you're looking at your website here, joerayperkins.com. I'll put that in a link below. And you've got a proposed bills list here. This is stuff that you've written for some of the stuff that you're going to use if you make it, right? Is that what this is?
Correct. Those are all bills that I will propose, excuse me, when I am sworn in as a U.S. Senator.
Okay, cool. And I'm loving this list so far. I mean, I'm just looking down the list: Ending Sanctuary States and Municipalities Act of 2027, Voter Registration Consent and Integrity Act, Immediate Wildfire Response Act, Veteran Structured Transition Act, Veterans Comprehensive Care and Full Disability Act, Term Limits 12 years max in Congress. So that's a good one. Oh, they're all good ones, by the way. Medicare Advantage, Market Freedom and Accountability, Natural Treatment and Naturopathic, and Congressional Insider Trading, and the Trucking Tax Relief Act. And I guess what I'm hearing is you've written some more since then, and they're not on this website.
They're not on the website. One of them is limits the amount of interest lenders can charge.
Okay, great.
Okay, we've
I
got
got
credit
stuck
cards
in
that are charging over 35%. People can't get them paid off.
Yeah.
It's usury. And so if the bill passes, it'll max it at 15%.
Oh, that's great. I actually did a loan for my business, and it was 68%. And
No way.
the guy on the phone was like, "Oh yeah, we got an interest rate at 6.8%." He said it just like that, and I'm thinking, okay, 6.8, yeah, that's cool. And I find out that it's 68%. So that happened to me. I'm a victim of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a credit card; it was just like a loan company. But
Yeah,
yeah, crazy.
there used to be usury laws. And
Okay.
so and it makes it hard for people to get out of debt They just can't. You're stuck unless you end up filing bankruptcy, which a lot of people end up in bankruptcy because you lose your job or you're self-employed and work's not coming in.
Yeah, it's
It,
terrible.
it happens.
Yep.
And then so that one needs a little bit of refining. And then another one is has to do with online biographical sites. Think the one that starts with a W and ends with an I.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
What's that about?
Well, anybody can say things about a person saying that this is their biography and this is information about them, but the person themselves cannot go in there and make corrections.
Ew. Yeah, that's lame.
And so think of the one that starts with a W, ends with an I, might sound like encyclopedia.
Oh, yeah, Wikipedia.
Oh, that's it. You
Yeah.
said it, not me. Anyway, so that bill in a nutshell, hold on, I'm pulling it up here. Um, I just have to get to the right website on my phone. There we go. The right website is my email, which is kind of funny. Okay. Um, that one, Online Biographical Accuracy Act.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
This act
Yep.
may be cited as the Online Biographical Accuracy Act of 2007. Websites maintaining biographical pages shall be responsible for the accuracy. So like me, I went on and updated my page in 2014. Source, Rae Perkins. They wouldn't allow any of those to stick.
Wow.
Last year, my grandson, who was 11 at the time, he says, Grandma, I read your Wikipedia page. He goes, when did you have a house fire?
Hmm.
I go, never. And he goes, well,
Yeah.
it says that you guys had a house fire and you lost a bunch of important papers.
What the?
Never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened.
Yep.
So people can post this stuff. And so the bill, an individual, okay, here's the penalty. Okay, so upon formal request from the subject or immediate family member, the website has to promptly correct or remove false information. Penalty $50,000 per violation,
Good. Yeah.
$250,000 for willful or repeated violations. The individual may recover $10,000 in statutory damages per violation plus attorney fees. And it changes a law that's already out there. Because when we started doing this, it was a small amount, and they go, well, how much money does Wikipedia have? Hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank.
Yeah.
I go, well, 5,000 is nothing. That's like $5 to me.
Right.
So let's make it hurt.
Okay.
People are getting smeared. There's stuff out there about me. It's inaccurate information. I
Yeah.
can't correct it.
Yep. Yep. And there's lots of info. That's like social media. That's what I do. I mean, there's a lot of people that are just so full of hate on
Yeah,
social media. And it's just, they read these headlines and they read these articles and they believe whatever they read. And then they go off on some tangent. And then the next person reads that. And it's just like a domino effect. It's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. And so the three bills I've written are all, as a government, the government should not have to do that.
Right.
And some people are going to go, well, that's a violation of freedom of the press, but you can't slander people.
No.
And,
Libel. Yeah.
because you don't know what kind of damage you're causing people.
Yep.
You have no idea. And it's morally not right. Setting interest rates. We used to have usury laws and we need them. Clearly, I mean, 68%, come on.
Yeah. It
But
was horrible. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. You're setting up for a loss. When people go through bankruptcy, now they're debt free and they go to buy a car, they're charging them 30-40% interest. Oh, well, they're high risk. How are they high risk? They have no debt. They are in the best financial position. They have a job, they've got income, they're in the best financial position they've been in years. And now you say that they're high risk. You're setting them up for failure again.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a
And
lot of that.
and there's a lot of that, and it's just not right. So and I see it and I hear about it. So every bill that I've written are because these are things that people over the years have talked to me about.
Cool. Well, yeah, and credit
So
card debt is just evil by itself,
it
honestly. And I'm
is.
I'm completely credit and I paid off that loan and I paid off all my credit cards. I've got a car payment. That's it.
Good.
So, I mean, all that stuff, I'm never going to go down that road again, but they keep hounding me.
Oh
They
yeah. They make it so
15,
easy.
16 calls a week on my business number asking me for, to give me another loan. And I'm like, no way.
Don't need it. Yeah.
No. So, cool. So, I mean, tell me about your stuff. You're up in Albany. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you lived up there?
Since 1975.
Okay, cool. Well, I was born in 79. So, um, so that's really cool.
You're a year older than our son.
Oh, right on. Nice. And so have you gotten in, what made you, you gotten involved in any politics before this? I know that you said it was kind of a path from God.
Yeah.
But what happened before that? Like, have you,
Before that. So in high school, I ran for student body secretary, not because I was interested in politics, or so I thought, but because I wouldn't hang out with the popular kids.
cool.
I didn't win. And then we moved up here and I went to Lynn Community College in Albany and I didn't know anybody. So I ran for student body business manager, which is the treasurer, and I won.
Nice.
And I got I got a good inside look of how government works. It was really interesting, even as the class treasurer. So towards the end of the school year, the class president, his name was Phil, and we're talking 1977. I still remember his name, his first name anyway. He said, well, we need to spend the rest of the money. And I said, why? So we've got enough paper and supplies to last for 5 years. We don't need to. And he said, because if we don't spend it, we don't get as much next year. And I said, we don't need as much next year.
Oh man.
That was my introduction into government budgeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's like a use it or lose it kind of situation.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was, had started off in California majoring in accounting, but then when I came up here, switched over to business management.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what my 2-year degree's in.
Nice.
So, and then my associate's is in political science with a minor in speech communication.
Okay. So, and so we've got 4 days left. Sorry for the late
That's
video.
okay.
I'm actually, I'm new to the podcasting. I'm a social media director for the Republican Party in Josephine County.
Awesome.
And so, I started the podcast and I'm trying to get that more modern approach to filling people in. And so we've got, 4 days, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The 15th.
4 days.
So people get out and vote.
We
Go
have
talk
3
to
days,
people.
23 and a half hours.
Yeah. Wow.
Who's counting?
Yep. And if people want to talk to you, they can contact you.
They can call me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Did you have anything else to say? I mean,
Well, yeah. A lot of people haven't voted.
yeah, that's true.
And it's really important whether people sign the no gas tax petition or not doesn't matter. That was supposed to be on the November ballot, but Governor Kotax did not want it on the November ballot because she didn't want to be facing that while she's up for re-election in the general. Please vote, and please vote no on ballot measure 120. Everybody's getting taxed to death. We talked about the credit card debt. Well, credit card debt or consumer debt is something that you voluntarily take on. Taxes, it's involuntary.
Right.
And there was an article I didn't read it, but I heard about last night in the Oregonian that 40% of the people that they surveyed are thinking about moving out of Oregon.
Yeah.
They want affordable housing.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's not business friendly. I'm a business owner too. So
it's very unbusiness friendly. And they've been wanting affordable housing. My testimony on the gas tax bill was keep it up. People are going to walk away from their houses. They don't care. They can start over. They'll go somewhere else and start over again. They can care less if they can't sell their house. They did it in 2008, 2009. And I was doing investments back then, so I saw it happening.
Yeah.
We were affected. People will start over. So if they want affordable housing, keep it up. Because you're going to end up with a state of empty houses, no employment. And when you run out of other people's money, as Margaret Thatcher said, at some point you're going to run out of other people's money. What are you going to do then? So please vote in the primary. Please vote for me for U.S. Senator. Uh,
Yep.
and if you don't vote for anything else, vote for Rae Perkins for U.S. Senator. Vote no on ballot measure 120. And I know a lot of people get, oh, I don't know who to vote for governor. Read the voter guide. Go online. Look at their websites. We all have websites. Most of
Right.
us do.
Exactly.
Look at our websites. Some of the candidates like me, my phone number is posted. You can call me. And if I'm not busy, I will answer the phone. So, and I have. I mean, I had one person I didn't answer the phone. They called me at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah. Um, I work shift work while yeah, okay, whatever. I never did talk to them. But I think that's really important. And as Americans, we have such a privilege in this country to be able to vote. And even if you think that your vote won't count or won't be counted, number one, it will be counted. And you can track that your ballot was received.
Yep.
And if it was received, they have to have the same number of ballots as they have envelopes. So here's my ballot right here. Envelope, whoops, my envelope. Here's my envelope. There we go.
Yep.
Ballots inside. So this is one envelope, one ballot. And every county clerk has to rectify that. It has to match.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when, I can go online and go, okay, yes, they did receive my ballot. And I will presume that they counted it. If there's anything nefarious going on right now, we cannot prove it. It is technically unprovable right now with what we know. And I'm not saying there's not problems, but if I know that somebody's not voting and I have the entire statewide voter database, and I can tell, I can look you up, Jordan, and I can tell you how many times you voted in the last however many years that it shows me.
Yeah.
I looked up somebody a few weeks ago. She's one of the 800,000 people that'll be getting removed. She hasn't voted since 2012. She voted once and has not voted since. That's the people that they're taking off. That's an inactive voter. It's just important. I mean, people in other countries, we've seen videos of them. They go, they get their thumb inked, they vote, and they know their voting is corrupt. But you know what? They voted.
Right.
And they fought and they died. They had family die for that privilege. So please, please vote. Vote in the primary. Let's blow the numbers away. Traditionally, it's only 30%. That's what Tina Kotek is counting on. That'll be a very low turnout again to vote. But let's ramp it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And at this point, unless you know that your post office is going to date stamp it, there's ballot drop boxes all over the entire state. So, let's say that you take off Tuesday morning, you've got your ballot, you forgot to drop it off and you're heading up to Salem. You can drop it off at any collection box. It doesn't matter. Any ballot box in any county, any city, it'll get to your county.
Yeah, correct. And we've got 4 of them here in Josephine County. We got it at the courthouse, the library, there's the Cave Junction City Hall, and one other place I forget. But yeah, turn them in because it's too late to mail it at this point, right?
It is. Yeah. It's too late to mail it. I will hand deliver mine. I'm like, it used to be half a mile. It's about a mile now from my house. So I hand deliver ours. I take them inside.
Cool.
And hand it to them. Some of them know me because I'm kind of known.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to share a fun story with you. And then we'll be good. So today I went up to Portland and was interviewed on KOIN Channel 6. It'll be aired at 6:00 on Sunday. So it's going to be interesting because the pictures they picked is like, really, you picked some really old photos. But as I was leaving, so they have a security guard and they have a doorman there, but the doorman wasn't there. He was doing something else. Anyway, the security guard, I said, have a good day. He goes, I'm voting for you. And I walked over to him. I go, you know who I am? Goes, yeah, I know who you are. Because you have my vote. That was so awesome. In downtown Portland.
That is cool.
Is that awesome?
Yeah.
So
that is awesome.
You never know how you're reaching people. One of the things about running that I love, I have friends all over the entire state. And I have traveled, like a lot of the candidates, thousands of miles, thousands upon thousands of miles over the years. And I've got friends everywhere. And that is that's one of the things that makes running for office an absolute blast, because I know where I go into a city, I know I've got friends, and that's a lot of fun. But again, all the bills that I've written are because of stories that I've heard from people, veterans that can't get their their disability benefits. The bill I wrote, it fixes that. So if you're a veteran and you've been fighting the VA for years to get your disability, look at that bill. As soon as that bill is passed and a doctor says you've got a disability that more likely than not is service related, your disability will be approved immediately. No more delays. And all the back ones that's in there, that those have got to get approved almost instantly. It's going to take some time because there's thousands and thousands of them, unfortunately. And no more having to pay attorney fees. It's in the bill. I covered everything I could possibly think of when I wrote that bill. And to me, that's one of the most important bills that I wrote, because it affects so many of our veterans. So please go to joeraeperkins.com, check it out. If you've got any
Okay.
questions, my phone number is on the website. It's in the voter guide. And if I'm not busy, I will pick up the phone. And if I don't, I call people back.
Yeah, I called you today for the first time ever, just this random caller, and said, "Hey, I'm Jordan. I'm in Josephine County. I do a podcast." And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
So
I think I
appreciate
answered
that.
right away, didn't I? I don't
You
think
did. It was like the
yeah,
first ring. So,
yeah.
yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate that. And, like I said, I'm going to put this out probably tomorrow. So I'm going to have this edited and put it out, and
Awesome.
hopefully it gets out there. So,
Good. Well, somebody calls me tomorrow in the afternoon. Uh, I might, if I answer, you might not hear me because we're going up to Hillsboro. My husband's bowling in the morning,
oh,
but the
cool.
air show is going on
Oh, that's
up
right.
in
Yeah.
Hillsboro.
Okay.
So I'm gonna charge my good camera and we're gonna go up there, and I'm always taking pictures,
Yeah.
so there'll be some loud jets going by,
Yeah,
but
I actually worked up in Hillsboro at the Intel campus. So that was too long time ago. Yeah, but I
yeah,
worked there for a while. I lived up there for a while, but now I'm here in Grants Pass. So
awesome. It's a little bit different atmosphere.
yeah, I like the water. I like the rivers. So that's
Good,
why I'm here.
good, beautiful rivers down there. All
Yeah.
right.
All
Thank
right. Thank
you.
you. I appreciate everything.
You
Have a
bet.
good
Have a
night.
great evening. Thanks, you too. Bye.
All right. Bye.